Blessed risings, good afternoon or good evening, depending on where in the world you are tapping in from. You got to keep in mind that Keep It P podcast is a global show. And today, on this episode of PC Shenanigans, which stands for Palm Colored Shenanigans, we will be discussing dad who got angry at 8-year-old son after he pooped his pants, shot dead by mom while sitting on the porch having a smoke. We will be discussing that and more after these brief messages. And welcome back. Florida woman executes child's father over parenting dispute. Where is the outrage? In a case that should be making national headlines for its sheer brutality, 39-year-old Laurie Adams admitted to shooting the father of her child, 51-year-old Adel Tawfeek, in the head with his own gun, all because he was upset that their 8-year-old son had an accident in his pants. This was no self-defense situation. This was an execution, plain and simple. Yet, where is the national outcry? Where are the think pieces? Where is the media dragging her character through the mud like they would if this was an FBA father pulling the trigger? Cold-blooded execution over a parenting disagreement. According to reports, Tawfeek became upset after their 8-year-old son defecated in his pants, something that, at worst, warranted discipline, not death. But instead of handling the situation like a rational adult, Adams took it to a barbaric level. She grabbed his own gun, aimed it at his head, and fired. Just like that. This man's life was over, not because he was a threat, not because he harmed their child, but because she couldn't handle a simple parenting disagreement. That's murder. That's cold-blooded. That's premeditated. The system moves fast, but is it equal? Of course it's not. Adams pleaded guilty and was immediately sentenced to 25 years in prison. And while that may seem like justice, let's be real. If an FBA man executed the mother of his child in the exact same way, would 25 years be the sentence? Not a chance. He'd be looking at life without parole, or worse, the death penalty. They wouldn't call it a tragic situation or a parental dispute gone wrong. They'd label him a monster, a menace, a danger to society. But when the suspect doesn't fit that FBA profile, notice how quickly the media sanitizes the crime. No deep dives into her history, no demonization, no fear mongering about single mothers with tempers and guns. It's almost like the justice system and the media have a different set of rules depending on who pulls the trigger. An innocent child now without a father. Let's not forget the real victim here, an 8-year-old child who has now lost his father forever. The boy already had an embarrassing moment, only for it to escalate into his mother committing an irreversible act of violence that will shape his life forever. Instead of co-parenting, instead of de-escalating, instead of thinking about how her actions would affect her own child, Adams let her emotions, demonic voices drive her to kill, which is embedded in her DNA, allegedly. Now, the child will grow up knowing his mother executed his father in cold blood. Laurie Adams pulled the trigger and executed the father of her child over something as minor as a parenting disagreement. There was no self-defense, no justifiable reason, just a violent, unhinged reaction that cost a man his life. And while she's going to prison, let's ask the real question. Would an FBA father in the same situation have gotten off with 25 years, or would he be spending the rest of his life behind bars? We already know the answer. The justice system needs to keep the same energy no matter who the suspect is. Murder is murder, no matter who pulls the trigger. But y'all can't seem to figure that out. And that's what we learned here today, boys and girls. They will not keep the same energy for you. So keep your nose clean and watch out for them barbaric Beckys. But I'm not going to hold you. I'm just going to mold you, fold you, and scold you about being off code. Going to leave you with 4 words as we always do around this time. Subscribe for the vibe, like for the spike, comment your vomit, and share if you care, if you dare to get Black empowerment everywhere. We are on all the platforms: Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook. Come and take a look. You might get hooked, but don't get shook by the fake Keep It P podcasts that are out there. Love, peace, blessings, and maloha. I gotta go ha for sure ha. You already know ha. Big brother, light bright, supremo, my T. Signing off.